Good evening and welcome to Blueprint Explosive Exclusive. I'm Madhavdas GK. Viewers, the Waqf Amendment Bill is all set to be tabled in the ongoing budget session of Parliament. The proposed legislation seeks to improve the regulation and management of Waqf properties, bringing in greater transparency and accountability. But some of the Muslim bodies and political parties are vehemently opposed to the proposed reforms and held a demonstration in Delhi's Jantar Mantar. There's no end to the fear-mongering and open threats as well. Days after AIMPLB spokesperson warned of Shaheen Bagh rerun across the country if the bill is implemented, now another threat has been issued from Jantar Mantar, this time by the chairman of All India Muslim Civil Rights, Mohammad Adib. He says that if the Waqf Bill is passed, then JPC chairman Jagdambika Pal and political parties should be ready for consequences. Listen in.
जगदम्बा पाल साहब को आप ये खबर दे दीजिए कि वो पास करके दिखाएं और फिर देखें कि क्या हश्र होता है उनका और उन पार्टियों का जिन्होंने इस बिल को पास कराया है उसको हम दिखाएंगे। अब कदम जितना भी डेमोक्रेसी में जो हमें इजाज़त है कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के तहत वो सब करेंगे और पहचानवाएंगे कि ये इसमें से बेईमान कौन लोग हैं और इसमें मतलब परस्त कौन लोग हैं।
Now the BJP has slammed this fear-mongering. Listen in.
वक्फ के नाम पर अब धमकी वाले भड़काऊ भाईजान पूरी तरह से काम पर। जिस प्रकार का बयान मोहम्मद अदीब का आया है कि दिखा देंगे हम हश्र जगदम्बिका पाल को, पास करके तो दिखाए वक्फ संशोधन बिल, ये सरेआम खुलेआम धमकी है। ये धमकी दे रहे हैं कि अगर संसद ने बिल पारित कर दिया तो वो संसद में जो बिल पारित करने वाले सांसद है उनको दिखा देंगे। क्या दिखा देंगे? कभी कोई बोलता है शाहीन बाग बना देंगे, कभी कोई बोलता है हश्र दिखा देंगे। सपोर्ट कौन कर रहा है? MIM, तृणमूल कांग्रेस, समाजवादी पार्टी, कांग्रेस पार्टी। संविधान की बात करते हैं, क्या ये संवैधानिक है?
Let's go across to Teshi. Now there are open threats coming out. We saw a few days ago there was a warning of a Shaheen Bagh type protest, and now, in fact, JPC chairman getting this warning from a civil rights group.
Well, absolutely. This is not for the first time that we are hearing something like this as far as the Waqf Bill is concerned. And in fact, remember that there was not just uproar in the parliament, but there were protests on the streets also. And in fact, today we saw the statement coming in from Mohammad Adib, who has, in fact, it seems like he has threatened the JPC chief, who has earlier also clearly mentioned and clarified number of times that there were meetings held. And in fact, not just the members, but the in fact suggestions were taken. Number of meetings were held, and then this draft report was made. And in fact, now that is why BJP is also saying that such kind of threats which are coming in from the leaders, from the individuals like Mohammad Adib, these are certainly such kind of statements will certainly incite violence. And in fact, when we tried to connect to him, he denied to speak. But yes, as of now, what we are picking up is that this is not for the first time, as we earlier also saw that threats came like from that.
We'll have to leave it at that, Teshi. Thanks so much for joining us with that quick update. Let's quickly take it across to our guest. Shashank Shekhar Jha is with us. He is a Supreme Court lawyer. We have Rashmi Sawant, activist, joining us. Syed Asad Abbas, political analyst, also with us. Let me start with you first. Rashmi Sawant, not the first time we are hearing this kind of language, but what exactly does this individual mean, Mr. Mohammad Adib, when he says that JPC chairman will know the consequences or will understand the impact of this decision if the bill is passed?
I think this is just intimidatory tactics, and this is not something that you in the Indian politics. This is exactly the kind of language that terrorists use, and this is something that shouldn't be acceptable in civil society. It's alarming that such kind of language is not, attracting more ire or more criticism from all quarters of society. I think all quarters of society, irrespective of the religion or political alliance, must condemn such comments, because it is trying to strong-arm an established system, due process, no respect whatsoever to constitutional law or, due process that's been, followed. If they have a problem, they can go to court. They can challenge it in different ways. They don't have to intimidate by issuing threats. We've seen in the past how certain sections of society have resorted to saying stuff like, remove the police for 15 minutes and so on and so forth. And this is not the spirit of democracy. This is the spirit of autocracy that is not welcome in India.
All right. Let me take that question across to Syed Asad Abbas. Syed Asad Abbas, this is not in a democratic spirit that such comments are being made. You know, end of the day, if you have a problem legally with a law, there is an option of the Supreme Court. You can challenge its constitutionality. But coming out and threatening individuals such as the JPC chairman, you know, how correct is this? Do you agree with this form of protest?
Firstly, I think the previous panelist did not hear the full speech. I request you or your team to play his full speech. In his full speech, he has clearly mentioned that जो भी कदम उठाएंगे Constitution के दायरे में. That is his statement. So I will stand with anything that to be done by Mr. Adib or anyone in this beautiful country should be within the purview of the law. It should be within what the Constitution allows you. Every step, every protest that comes in should be under the purview of the Constitution.
Why is he threatening him? Why is he saying he should pass the bill and then see what happens to him and the parties that supported this bill? What does this mean? Syed Asad Abbas, in your view, what does this mean? What is the legal threat over here?
Okay, what did he say after that?
So whatever he said after that, what does he mean by this? I'm asking you. You tell me.
What does he say? You cannot nitpick here, Madhav.
There is no question of nitpicking. You tell me, what does he mean when he says he should pass the bill and then see what happens to him and the parties that supported this bill? What will happen in your view? What is your interpretation of what he's saying?
If you are going to look at only half, I cannot help you, sir.
No, you tell us what this half means. We understood the second half that he's talking about within the purview of within the purview of law, constitution, etc. Fine. But what does this sentence mean when he says, then see what happens to him and the parties that supported the bill? What does this line mean?
Firstly, it is not whatever. Let's listen to his full speech.
No, you are not able to explain. Listen to his full speech is fine. The problem, Abbas, is you will listen to his part where he says this, but this threat you are not willing to accept is a threat. Call a spade, no? Say that this is a threat that he is giving.
I will stand by him with everything he does.
So you're okay with him threatening? You're okay with him threatening a parliamentary committee chairman when he says things like, then he will see what happens and the political parties that supported this bill. You're standing by him when he's threatening the JPC chairman. Wonderful. Let me bring in fact, Shashank Shekhar Jha. Shashank Shekhar Jha, what could possibly mean, even if somebody says that we stand by the constitution, we stand by the law of the country. When you come out and say, pass the bill and then see what happens to him and parties that supported this bill. Within the framework of legal, the laws of this country and the constitution, what possible interpretation can such a statement have?
Namaste, Madhavji and my fellow panelists here. Madhavji, this is a clear mindset of what Aurangzeb had during his time or Jinnah had during 1940s. In the name of peaceful protest and peaceful demonstration, what they are trying to do is divide this country into parts. No, we have seen during CA protest how they, in the name of peaceful protest, actually led to riots in the parts of country, including Delhi. What we have seen during Sartan Se Juda rallies against a statement made by Nupur Sharma, and they have actually butchered many. During Hijab Row, in which I and Rashmi both were part of it. In that case also, someone was supporting, taking a stand against hijab, and he was killed the other day in the name of peaceful protest. So, we must take this by the pinch of salt. We must not let these people take their own way. Anyone who is threatening the peace of this country or trying to disturb the communal harmony of this country must be dealt with iron hand. There cannot be compromise as far as sovereignty of this country is concerned. What we have seen in past few years, anything which is being introduced by Modi government is being opposed on roads, because they also know that they do not have any constitutional authority to oppose it before the court of law, and that is why this open threats. They also know that if they will go to a court again opposing this particular law, they will face defeat there, because no other community apart from Islamic community in this country.
No, the point is this. The point is it doesn't matter which community is coming from. The point is, can anybody threaten a chairman of a parliamentary committee? And Syed Asad Abbas, the point being made over here is that this is an open threat being given. No, I have said very clearly, nothing on the basis of religion will be made. It does not matter whoever is the religion of the protester. The point over here is a parliamentary committee chairman has been threatened. Syed Asad Abbas, will you at least admit that this is a threat?
Madhav, how can you allow this panelist to get away by saying Islamic community? How can he single
Sir,
out
I have
that
just
way?
said the community
Sir,
does not matter. I don't know if you hear me. It is not the issue of Islamic community at all. The point is a threat being made to the chairperson of a parliamentary committee.
Firstly, now hear me out. Hear me out. See, obviously you want to make it. See, I can't help it. If Godi media wants to make it Hindu-Muslim, you can go ahead and make it.
Sir, call a threat a threat. Call a threat a threat that. No, why are you shying away from calling a threat a threat?
Now I will answer you. Hear the speech fully. जो भी कदम उठाएंगे Constitution के दायरे में, whatever step will be taken will be in the framework of the Constitution. If you want to look at it half, I can't help you, sir. If you want to do Hindu-Muslim in this, I can't help you. You want to do this, why? Because we know. Godi media, I have a message for the Godi media.
No, this is not a Hindu-Muslim at all, sir. No, I'm sorry, Mr. Abbas.
Of course.
If you don't want to participate in this debate, nobody is forcing you to. But it's a simple question. It's a simple question of a threat being given by a person who was demonstrating today at Jantar Mantar. Is this kind of threat acceptable to you? If it is, wonderful. And then don't come out. Those who are criticizing you on the panel, if you don't engage with them on the facts that are placed before you, you're entitled to your opinion. And it's perfectly fine. You can have your own opinion. But do not brush everything aside as if this is the kind of statement that is acceptable. And let me bring in Manasvi. Manasvi is no BJP fan. Manasvi, are you going to defend this person who's threatening the JPC chairman? Do you think that this is a kind of statement that is acceptable according to you?
Madhav, so we have to look in the totality of the statement. What I feel is the most important part what we need to understand here is, first of all, BJP cannot be threatened. BJP is the largest political party of the world, with the largest political base of the world, with the largest bank balance of the world. Do you think BJP can be threatened?
May I just stop you for a moment, Manasvi? I know you've just started speaking. Is the threat to the BJP or the chairperson of a JPC? You have a parliamentary body, you have a committee. Are we going to allow street protests against an individual chairperson? And what does he mean when he says that then we will show you once the law is passed?
So, Madhav, there are two things. Legally, if this is a threat, FIR has to be registered. Why isn't the FIR being registered if this is a threat? If this is not a threat, it is just an issue created by the BJP to garner some kind of media debates out of it and create some kind of a narrative of polarization. I don't feel BJP should be threatened by anyone with a person with this kind of a person who does not even can win a municipal election. Do you think this person can actually be a threat to BJP, to the JPC, a constitutionally...
Okay, I'm allowing that debate. Rashmi, is this too small an issue for, people should feel threatened about? Perhaps the BJP is the biggest political party, says Manasvi Thapar. Why would you even be concerned about this kind of a statement? Your response?
Well, Madhav, Shashank and me here, we've been at the receiving end of such.
All right, lost that
On a particular side with an issue.
Yeah.
So we know how terrible it is to be at the receiving end of such threats. Okay, these people don't realize what it means to be an individual in civil society facing these threats. That's why they're, trying to conflate it with larger agenda, try to, brush it under the carpet, because they've never faced these kinds of threats. The chairman of the committee is an individual with a family. Obviously, he is going to be threatened. And to try and conflate it with the lathi, they're just trying to underplay the seriousness of the threat being made. As somebody who's been at the receiving end of such threat multiple times, we know how scary it gets to an individual and to their family and to their neighborhood. And I feel like any person with a shred of humanity should not stand with it. Here, people can find portions of the speech that are convenient for them and, defend the said person and defend whatever he's saying. But they should also be comfortable, taking into consideration the full speech, each and every word that he said, and also reconcile with what that means for that individual and his family. At the end of the day, he's also a father, a husband, and a brother and a son. And I think that is what we're confronting with today. That is, he threatens the family, he threatens the individual, and the people here, they're just trying to whitewash it. And it's extremely sad that, people can't stand up for humanity.
And Manasvi, the point is this. The point is today there's a protest taking place. And in a democratic country, everyone has a right to protest. Nobody's taking that away. But is this the kind of language that we could allow? Because you saw the AIMPLB spokesperson make a separate statement a few days ago where he threatened there would be Shine-Bagh-like protests across the country.
Madhav, if the threat is so big, and if this is a threat, there has to be a legal recourse out of it.
Manasvi, I will read out the exact statement, and you tell me if you think this is a threat or not. Let me just read out one sentence. You should inform Jagdambika Pal that he should pass the bill and then see what happens to him and the parties that supported this bill. We will show them the consequences. What is it according to you, Manasvi? Please tell me.
Madhav, it is...
No, tell me, what is it? Is it a threat or not?
Now take this hypothesis and believe that this is a threat.
No, is it a threat or not? Yes or no? What do you think this is? I think I've read it out in plain English.
Let there be a FIR. Why are we defending a non-FIR? Why do you want that BJP should
Sir,
just...
the aggrieved persons, I cannot speak for Mr. Jagdambi Pal or anybody else. Let them decide whether they want to file an FIR. The point being made is this the kind of political rhetoric you're going to allow in this country?
Madhav, let action be on ground and not on Times Now studio. Let
So
BJP
we should ignore
take
it. So we should bury it. We should not ignore. We should not discuss it. We should just ignore it.
We should discuss and action should be taken. More than discussion, you and I can't do anything. You and other panelists can't do anything. The legal machinery, the police machinery has to take action out of it. And there has to be a first information.
Shashank Shekhar Jha, take action first. Take action first before talking about this issue.
Madhavji, it's so unfortunate that learned people on your show are unable to condemn this very specific line which is threatening someone who is sitting on a constitutional position. I am saying that, you know, irrespective of our political affiliations or political support, we must all stand against anything which is able to disturb or which has an inclination to disturb the law and harmony of the society. Now, this is a clear threat. We have seen in past how such threats have actually led to violence. You know, we also know, and I support Mr. Manasvi, that, you know, legal recourse should be taken. But before that, we should at least be, you know, eligible enough to actually at least condemn it. If we are not condemning it publicly, that means we are indirectly supporting it and promoting such fragile elements of this society. So maybe he is a very small person who is unable to win any election, but that doesn't mean that he will not condemn
the point being made here. One second, just let's debate this calmly. Manasvi, point being made here by some of the panelists. Once again, we've seen similar calls to action being interpreted as calls to violence by others. The point being made over here is, if this is a threat being made by a leader such as this, who's to know what tomorrow somebody may go and do against individuals who have been mentioned?
So the idea here is, if someone is doing something wrong, we should immediately file a police complaint. Why aren't we doing that? And why are we not advocating that? We are going on the circus.
Nobody is stopping anyone from filing a police complaint. Is this rhetoric acceptable to you?
Yeah, why isn't BJP taking that action? My point here is, what is paining to me is, this is a threat. Let's believe that this is the threat, but what is the action on ground taken? What is the legal recourse on the threat? Nothing.
So who's denying the importance of legal recourse? The entire point being made is, in a democracy, when one protests, what is the kind of language we use and what is the kind of statements that are made? At the end of the day, if anybody is making a hate speech, if anybody is talking any kind of language of violence or threat, then that has to be unequivocally condemned. Manasvi, do you not agree with that?
Madhav, condemning is a smaller thing. Bigger thing is showing action. I'll condemn it. I'm condemning it. But the point here is, apart from my condemnation...
Great. Okay, at least we have you condemning it, because one of our panelists refuses very stoutly to condemn it, saying that he has mentioned that everything is in purview of law, so it's all fine. We'll have to leave it there. Shashank Shekhar Jha, Rashmi Sawant, Syed Asad Abbas, Manasvi Thapar, thanks so much for joining us this evening.